The new Marvel show She-Hulk has just released. Today, let's review the entire first new episode and talk about the one really big problem so far. The episode starts off with Jen rehearsing her lines for a court case later that day. While she talks about this, she also mentions that she is a Hulk. What? Is that why the show is called She-Hulk? Anyway, she mentions that she's the Hulk and then she turns into a first-person view and tells us the story. She says she became the Hulk when her and her cousin Bruce were going on a trip. Everybody is smiling, everything is all lovey and dovey when all of a sudden a spaceship lands in front of them. This spaceship makes the car lose its course and they tumble all the way down into the woods. Now, to be honest, I thought Jen would have way more injuries than just a little cut on her arm from that type of crash, but you know, whatever. She gets out of the car and she goes to save Bruce, and while she's pulling him out, his blood accidentally drips onto her arm, which makes their blood infuse together. All of a sudden, her veins turn green and she starts running frantically in the woods. However, so far, we still don't know if she's the Hulk because we haven't seen a face reveal. She ends up running all the way to a bar downtown and she goes into the bathroom to clean up, and then all these yes queen girls show up and they're all like, oh my god girl, come here, let me fix you, come here, purr. And after she's all prettied up, she's sitting outside in the bar waiting for Bruce to come pick her up when all of a sudden she gets approached by 3 men. Obviously it looks like she isn't interested, but they keep trying to pursue it, so this happens.
Hey, we're just being friendly.
Yeah, where you going? So what, you too good to talk to us?
Okay, well now I guess that's enough proof. Now she is definitely a Hulk. However, thankfully, before she could kill somebody, Bruce jumps in and tackles her. She goes unconscious and wakes up the next day in a random weird location. She wanders around for a bit and it looks like she might be in Hawaii, Malibu, somewhere in those peachy palmy vibes. After a little bit more stumbling around, she goes into the basement and finds Bruce. They talk about what happened last night and Bruce reveals some very heartbreaking news. He tells Jen that she is a Hulk. She's in denial at first. She's like, no, stop, I don't want to be a Hulk, no. But he's like, no, you're a Hulk. And then it gets even worse. He tells her that she has to stay with him for 15 entire years so he can train her to be a proper Hulk, so she can control being a Hulk, she can control when it comes out, blah blah. He then pulls out a big fat binder and tells her this is what you're gonna use to study. This binder basically shows Bruce's experience when he first became the Hulk till now. So it was basically like a how to be Hulk guide, you know what I'm saying? And ladies and gentlemen, the first thing in the book was to figure out what brings the Hulk out in her. Bruce predicts it might be anger for her, so he brings out a deadly array of saw blades that start charging towards her body. So at this point, basically, if she doesn't turn into the Hulk, she will literally die. She is dead here. She is dead. Thankfully, our cute baby boy Bruce was right, and since she got angry and fearful, she turned into the Hulk. But now, here's where things get crazy. When she leaves the chamber, she is still Jen. She isn't fighting with like a Hulk ego. Because typically in other shows like The Flash, if you look at Caitlin Snow, her counterpart that came out was Killer Frost, so it was 2 people in one. But for some reason here, Jen is just the Hulk. She is the Hulk as Jen, and she is the normal girl as Jen. This was great because it helped her skip over 10 years of training experience. 10 years! Anybody in this situation would be very happy, right? No. Jen ends up not caring about that and she just wants to figure out how to turn into her human self again. Bruce kept saying there isn't a certain way, you kind of have to get knocked out, you have to go to sleep, something like that. She argues against that. She's like, I have a normal life to live, I can't live like this. They bicker back and forth for a bit, but then she ends up going to sleep and waking up as Jen. Only for Bruce to air horn her right back into Hulk, so haha. Next, Bruce takes Jen through a wide range of training. He helps her throw boulders really high, he helps her do backflips, he helps her jump really high, everything is going great. And this was probably my favorite part of the entire episode. The main reason She-Hulk is gonna be successful is because Bruce and Jen have this really weird chemistry that's so addicting to watch. And the relationship itself of Bruce being like a father figure to Jen is gonna be so beautiful, which is why I think most people that watch the first episode are already pretty hooked. But sadly, all great things come to an end. Now let me talk about the one big problem I have with the show so far. The problem with She-Hulk is woman empowerment. When Bruce is telling Jen why he has to train her to control her anger, she goes off on an emotional rant basically saying, oh, I'm a woman, I have to deal with all these problems, that's why I'm always so angry, men tell me I can't do my job right, blah 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 blah, and if I don't listen they'll kidnap me, murder me, which is fine, but it feels so forced. Have you guys noticed the amount of movies and shows that are enforcing being gay, being lesbian, being a girl, being a female, blah 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 blah, which obviously, once again, do whatever you guys want, but I feel like it's being pushed in an unnatural way. So right here, Jen going on the rant is fine, but I don't want this turning into a reoccurring pattern where every episode she's complaining about being a woman. I don't want that. And trust me, as much as you guys want to deny it, be like, no, it's fine, whatever, you don't want it. I don't want to watch 30 minutes every single week of a girl complaining about how hard it is. I get it, but I'm not here to watch that. I'm here to watch entertainment. Next, when Jen is done... Why is my neighbors playing music right now? It's 2 a.m. Why? Why? Please shut up. Please, chup, please. Shut the fuck Anyways, after Jen finishes her emotional rant, she says, I'm leaving, and she gets into the van. Then Bruce argues back and he's saying, okay, Jen, sweetheart, that's not happening, okay? He gets in front of the car and holds the car from leaving. This starts their next and biggest fight yet. Bruce throws Jen throws Bruce. They both thunderclap each other away. They both get very, very aggressive and actually end up destroying Bruce's bar. I don't know about you guys, but I get a very dinosaur-like vibe when these two fight. And the fight goes on for actually a very long time. But finally, after a little while, the fight ends.
My bar!
Sorry.
You're fixing it.
The two make amends when Jen helps Bruce fix his bar, and this time Bruce actually understands where Jen is coming from and he lets her go back home. When finally, after all this time, it cuts back to Jen as a lawyer. Yeah, you heard that right. The whole episode was basically telling the backstory. Isn't that cool? Yeah. But now, no time to think because Jen has her court case now. So Jen, the attorney, is sitting in court when finally it's her turn to speak. Remember in the beginning when I said she was rehearsing all those lines? Well, that was for this. So Jen takes a deep breath in, about to say her line, when all of a sudden, boom! Some random superhero girl breaks in through a hole in the wall. All the humans start flipping out and everyone hides behind cover when Jen's best friend tells her that she should become the Hulk right now. Now me personally, I thought the show would take more of like a secret superhero take, kind of like Spider-Man, where like people don't know that she's Hulk, right? But she just kind of went out there and is like, okay, I'm Hulk now. Let me know what you guys think, but I feel like it would be way funnier and more entertaining seeing Hulk being like a secret person, right? Seeing how she goes through an ordinary lawyer life being a big Hulk monster, I feel like that would be better. But anyways, she's kind of undecisive at first. She's like, oh, I love this suit, I don't want to do it, but she ends up doing it. And this scene was probably the coolest scene in the entire episode. Her clothes rip off as she turns into the big mass monster of Green Hulk. She beats the other evil villain up with ease, then she transforms back into her human self, fixes her clothing, and says, I'm ready to give my speech now. Oh my god, oh my god, that is so sick. Something about her becoming the Hulk, beating up somebody easily, coming back to normal, fixing her clothes. Yo, I'm ready for my speech. Let's go! And that's where the first episode ends. Guys, I think I might be in love.